So like authority in Matthew 28, verse 18, does that affect Jesus's divinity
Why?
if he receives certain
Okay,
things
so that's
from...
what you're asking me about the deity of Christ.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, does that affect his deity? Because
Why?
in my view, Jesus has always had all these things. He's always had authority. He's always been, equal with God. He's obviously never been the Father, but he's always been the Son.
Yeah. What does equal mean? Even when you say equal, you have to define
Equal,
terms.
right? So this is one of the things that I was learning as well. Like when it comes to equality.
Yeah, in what sense equality? For example, are you equal to your father?
No.
You're not? So you're less human than your father?
Well, I'm just as human as him, isn't it?
Okay, so are you equal to your father?
No, I guess not then.
So you're not equal, so you're less human than him?
Okay, so yeah, I am just as human, so I guess I'm equal in that way.
But do you have the same authority he has?
Same authority? No, I guess he's...
So you just said you are equal in one sense, but not equal in another sense. You're confusing categories. You're assuming equality refers to one specific type of equality. No, you're confusing what we call categories, categorical errors, category errors. You can be equal to someone in one way, but not equal to him or her in another way. So you're equal to your father in that you're just as human as he is and have the same human worth and dignity that he does, but you're not equal in authority, right?
Yeah, correct.
Even children, if you have children, your children are not less human than you because kind begets kind, like begets like. So if you're human, you beget humans. That means they have the same nature, they have the same value, they have the same worth and dignity, but they don't have the same authority. This is why they're subject to you and must honor you, even if they get older and are stronger and wiser, more intelligent than you. That doesn't change the fact you still have authority over them. And if they were to try to abuse you or harm you, they would be dishonoring you because you're still their parent. And as their parent, you have authority over them, even though they may be stronger than you and even smarter than you. But when it comes to authority, you're still their head. Right?
Right.
You get my point? So what you're trying to now distinguish is differences in authority. Differences in equality. Equality must be defined in relation to the categories. So you don't confuse categories, because if we're talking about human self-worth or human worth, human dignity, if we're human, we all have the same worth and dignity in the sight of our Creator. But as far as authority is concerned, no, there's a hierarchy. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. So when you say Jesus is equal to the Father, all right, now, equal in what way?
Then I guess it's his essence.
Yes. Jesus is just as much God as the Father is. He's equal to the Father in divinity, in glory, in majesty, in power, in honor. But he's still the Father, and Jesus is still the Son. That means there's a sense in which the Son honors the Father as his Father and submits to him.
So there is this system of like hierarchy.
Yes, but the hierarchy is not because one is better than the other and one is older than the other. No, it's just because of who they are in relationship to one another. The Father is the Father. Well, if he's the Father and the Son is the Son and the Spirit is the Spirit of the Father and the Son, that means right there you have a hierarchy in which the Son and the Spirit subject to the Father and the Spirit is subject to the Son, but the Father is subject to no one. But at the same time, the Father cannot be independent from the Son and the Spirit, because without the Son and the Spirit, he can't be truly who he is, and he can't be truly God. So they are inseparable and interdependent.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Right.
Let me take it a step further so we can unpack this. And I'm going to explain Matthew 28:18, because that's talking about a different kind of authority. This is what you're referring to. After the resurrection, Jesus says the following. But let's see why he said it. You ready? Now, this is talking about a different type of authority. Matthew 28:18. And Jesus came up and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in heaven and earth. right?
Right.
Stop playing with your mic, dude. All authority has been given to me in heaven and earth, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's what you're referring to. Well, if he's God, didn't he already have all authority? So why was it given to him after the resurrection? That's your question, correct?
That's my question, yeah.
Well, here's why. If you read in context, while he's on earth, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. So what was he on earth?
A servant, I guess.
So that you guess, I mean, dude, come on, man. Even a blind man
Right,
can.
yeah.
Why are you
A
guessing, dude?
servant.
But just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. What was he on earth?
A servant.
So then why would it shock you that he humbles himself to be a servant on earth, and then later he is exalted to royal status? So now he is receiving the authority to rule as Lord, an authority he voluntarily set aside to take the role of a servant on earth.
So
Why
you're saying that he
not
had
saying
this. You're saying that he had these attributes and these titles before, but he came
Well,
to
you're confusing attributes with titles. Do I have to always function as king to be truly divine, truly God? I mean, you're confusing functions and roles with attributes, right? So when you say he's always had his attributes as God, that never stopped. He only added another set of attributes. So he is God who had the divine attributes fully, but then he added to himself a human nature with human attributes. So he didn't stop having divine attributes. Attributes are one thing. Roles and functions are another. So to give you a bad analogy, the President Joe Biden, when he stops being president, doesn't mean he stops being human?
No, he doesn't.
But this is the category conflation. You're assuming, well, all right, well, Jesus is given authority to rule. That means while on earth, he had given up that authority to rule, to become a servant. That affects his divine nature. Why? Why would it do so? He can still be truly God, but not exercise his sovereign authority to rule, but humble himself to be a servant on earth. This is what it says in Matthew 12:15-21. All right? But Jesus, aware of this, withdrew from there. Many followed him, and he healed them all, and warned them not to make him known, in order that what was spoken through Isaiah the prophet would be fulfilled, saying, "Behold, my servant." So Jesus on earth is what?
A servant.
And this is the Father speaking. He's now my servant, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased, and I will put my spirit upon him. So he goes from the status of a servant to now assuming the status of king as a Lord. You can set aside your sovereign authority as ruler and still be, let's say, a human being, truly human, right? Because setting aside your authority does not impact your nature. So Jesus can still be truly God and set aside his right to rule.
Right, I see.
So there is no correlation between the two. So that was your first question. What else did you have?
So there is a difference between nature, authority, and like
Sure.
function, as you say.
Even in you as a human, you can be the boss of a company and then get fired. Does that change your nature?
No.
It changes your status.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's my point.
That makes so much sense.
Status does not equate to nature. It is true that certain natures will encompass specific statuses. For example, as human, my status is higher than a dog in the eyes of God.
Right.
Because why? I have greater worth and value in the eyes of God. But now, even with that said, not all humans have the status of boss or of president or of king, or you name it. A status can change without this impacting your nature.
Right, I see.
It doesn't follow. You with me there?
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes so much sense now.